This is ABC7 News at 6. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight, Florida lawmakers head to Tallahassee for week 2 of their annual 60-day session, planning to take up one of the most important issues the state is dealing with this year, the ongoing opioid epidemic.
The Senate is considering a bill that would limit doctors' abilities to write opioid prescriptions. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us now to explain what changes lawmakers are looking at. Jess?
Scott, Jacqueline, this bill is looking to prevent patients from becoming addicts in the first place. A trend we're seeing now is what starts as a prescription for an opioid can lead to not only an addiction to that drug, but eventually an addiction to more deadly drugs like heroin.
People have been abusing opioids for centuries.
For the last 20 years, Dr. Eugene Pereira has been helping patients manage chronic pain.
It has always been thought that there are opioids and there are adjuncts or complementary medications. I like to have people consider the fact that opioids should be the adjuncts and not the mainstream of treatment of pain.
Before Dr. Pereira prescribes an opioid or any other prescription medication to a patient, they're given a urine and oral exam.
To make sure that, number one, they're taking the medications we are prescribing, so there's less of a chance of misuse or diversion. To make sure that they're not getting medications that we are not prescribing.
Soon, doctors in Dr. Pereira's field could be limited to prescribing no more than 3 days worth of opioids, or in cases of acute pain, a 7-day prescription. It's an effort that addiction treatment specialists say could stop what's described as accidental addicts.
Those individuals who have some risk behaviors but haven't really come forth with them, the doctor makes a prescription and it sets the ball rolling down the hill. That is a horrible experience for the individual.
First Step Vice President P.J. Brooks feels like this could be a step in fighting the epidemic, but that it isn't even close to a cure-all.
We've actually done a pretty good job in the state of Florida of limiting access to prescription drugs. So now what's happened is we're really dealing with a heroin and fentanyl epidemic.
A part of this Senate bill would require doctors to check patients' prescription records before prescribing any opioids. Doctors would also have to take continuing education courses on prescribing the drugs.
Nowhere in my medical training did I get a detailed discussion of how to safely prescribe opioids. I don't think many of my peers did either.
Another major issue that lawmakers will take up this week is hurricanes. The State House will review 12 pages of information dealing with how the state responded before, during, and after Hurricane Irma. Some recommendations to deal with hurricanes better include extending a toll road from the Tampa Bay area to the Georgia border, also requiring all assisted living and nursing home facilities to have an emergency source of power. Jacqueline and Scott.
All right, Jess, thanks so much. An update now to a murder case in Sarasota County. Last month, 50-year-old William Case was arrested for the 2011 murder of Kensington Park resident Karen Courts. In court last week, Case's attorney filed a motion to halt the proceedings due to the defendant's presumed incompetence. A motion hearing will be held on the 25th of this month. Sarasota County detectives say Case was linked to the murder through DNA and shoe prints.
An arrest is made in the murder of a Sarasota teenager. Northport police say 19-year-old Trent Bartle Thomas was inside a home on Porto Chico Avenue in Northport when 2 men wearing black ski masks stormed in and shot him dead. Police have arrested 21-year-old Dante Lamar Stanley Jr. for his role in that shooting. Stanley is charged with homicide, armed home invasion, robbery, and aggravated battery and assault with a deadly weapon. More information is needed to help identify others involved in this crime. If you have more information, you're urged to contact Northport Police.
Let's change gears now and get a check on our weather. It was a cold start to the day, but it turned into a really nice day. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yeah, much better than the weekend. The weekend on the cold side, to say the least. And it looks like a beautiful sunset tonight, albeit cool, but temperatures are much warmer than they have been. 63 degrees right now. The dew point 47, and we have clear skies. So the dew point numbers come up, winds are out of the north at 8, and the pressure way up there, 30-28, keeping us under those clear skies. And statewide temperatures in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s now. 70 in Miami, 44 degrees in Jacksonville, and 55 degrees in Tallahassee. Well, a few showers along the East Coast. That is about it. We have fair skies here, and looks as though we'll see temperatures dropping down to pretty close to seasonal averages for this time of year. We will see winds, though, out of the north and northeast, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour for the next couple of hours, and they'll subside somewhat to 5 to 10. You see 12-mile-an-hour wind out of the northeast at Minnesota Beach, and warm Mineral Springs at 10 near Northport, and Northport now at 10. The evening planner, look for fair skies through the 11 o'clock hour and 49 degrees by 11 o'clock tonight. So a little bit on the cool side, but still a little bit warmer than it has been. We'll have more on another cold front headed our way coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Today, the Suncoast is remembering the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. This is the 37th year of the MLK celebration on the Suncoast, and the focus this year is bridging the gap for all the area's communities. It all started with the annual MLK breakfast in Newtown. The group then took to the streets for a 1-mile unity walk. The walk ended at MLK Park with an all-day block party. Attendees not only celebrated, but also looked toward the future.
Events like this gives us the opportunity to pass down to our children the significance of Martin Luther King Jr. and what he did historically, and be able to remember it as a community.
The last of today's events will be kicking off at 6:30 this evening at Booker High School as the West Coast Black Theater Troupe honors Martin Luther King Jr.
The Venice Wildlife Center is gearing up for a big move. The Animal Hospital and Rehabilitation Center recently purchased a new property after efforts to buy its existing land fell through. Now the nonprofit center is working to raise money to rebuild cages for recovering animals and a 120-foot cage for eagles to learn to fly again. The center has to apply for a rezoning on the new property so it can officially run the business there.
We're very proud to have this second chance here in the same neighborhood. And we hope to make the most of it.
Wildlife Center hopes to have that rezone and moving complete in just over a year from now.
Sheriff's deputies in Manatee County continue to search for answers regarding a dead body that was found in Bradenton this morning. That's where we find ABC7's Rick Adams, who is live with more details. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, we're being told the body was found right back in this area. It is about 30 yards from the road. The man has been identified as 41-year-old Michelangelo Jacoby Grantley. Folks who live close by are in complete shock over this.
All I know is that there was gunshots around 5 o'clock that woke me up, but I didn't know that was what woke me up. But I heard later there was a body found over there. With its mouth taped, and evidently had been shot. There were other people, the one couple up here, who actually heard all 3 shots last night and heard a car spitting away.
And the sheriff's office is continuing with their investigation. If you know anything more about this, you're being asked to contact authorities immediately. Reporting from Bradenton this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, President Trump accused of making racist comments about Haitian and African countries. What those who were in the room at the same time are saying about the president's remarks. And Hawaii is still recovering from a false missile alert. What authorities are doing to prevent that kind of incident from happening again.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live. I live. She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. Services.com. AND Services.com.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some will take you back in time to the Civil Rights Movement or even the Civil War. You boys play nice now. From Helen Keller to Hamlet. Check out these big guns. We're talking the USS Alabama. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take?
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring,
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Get breaking news, plus first alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5.
The classic film Singing in the Rain is coming to the Players Center in a live stage show opening January 17th. All the dances and all the songs you've come to know and love, all a part of our wild Broadway series. Get your tickets now for this limited run by calling the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. You too can be singing in the rain.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
President Trump is speaking publicly for the first time about controversial remarks he reportedly made about Haiti and African countries. Those comments have prompted some critics to call the president a racist, something the president is pushing back against. President Trump is spending Martin Luther King Day at one of his golf clubs in Florida, and he is on the defense as he denies using a vulgar word to describe African nations.
Did you see what various senators in the room said about my comments? They weren't made.
I know what happened. I stand behind every word that I said.
When speaking to reporters at an MLK event in Chicago today, Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, the lone Democrat in the room, insists that the president used an offensive phrase. The backlash comes as lawmakers hammer out a deal to protect those so-called dreamers, undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. Democrats want protections for dreamers to be part of a deal to avoid a government shutdown, but they are in a time crunch. Government funding is set to expire on Friday.
The officer responsible for Hawaii's false ballistic missile warning has been reassigned to a different post. The alert sent Hawaii residents and tourists into a panic Saturday. It was followed by a clarification about 38 minutes later that there was no threat. State officials said after a shift change on Saturday, an officer involved in its alert drills pushed the wrong button. President Trump called it a mistake and thanked officials for taking responsibility. Hawaiian authorities say they have added increased security to their alert system and are reviewing this incident. Further tests of the state's alert system have been suspended until investigation is complete.
Well, stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will have a look at your first alert weather forecast for the week ahead when we come back. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call. Let us give you some peace of mind.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore 2 hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking an account executive to join our winning sales team. This is an outside sales position covering the Tampa DMA. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
A cold weekend, but it didn't stop Bob from playing some golf and
Right.
playing really well, I heard, huh?
That tip that I got, at the Manatee Golf Course, really worked out. So Paid off. Yeah, finally paid off. Yeah, it was nice, nice and cool, but it was actually colder Sunday morning. Played Saturday morning, then the temperatures dropped throughout the day. It was a blustery weekend, to say the least. Things have improved considerably, and the sunset just as nice tonight. Get a look at this. This is from Castelia, Ansley, and the Sarasota Bayfront. Sunrise tomorrow. We'll see it return at 7:21 under clear skies. And speaking of clear, Lakewood Ranch was clear throughout the day today as a result of high pressure. Just in the last few frames, you'll see some clouds come back in at the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere associated with that jet stream now, and a little bit of cloudiness along the east coast. But the weather headlines read like this. It looks as though we'll see warmer temperatures tomorrow. Highs will be back to near seasonal averages, but just for one day only. And then another cold front will move through late Wednesday, and looks like late Wednesday afternoon. And that means wind chill advisories will be back with us as early as Thursday morning, with wind chills down around 30 degrees. Now, the satellite and radar review showing those high clouds moving off from the south to the east associated with the subtropical jet stream, which has really been pushed south now. A few showers along the east coast and high pressure dominating the weather now, with the winds rotating around it in that clockwise fashion. We're getting that northeasterly flow, and that means still a little bit on the cool side. This evening, temperature by 11 o'clock now at 52 degrees under fair skies, and we'll see temperatures right around 48, 49 degrees for lows. No rain chance at all here. And in fact, the next cold front that moves through Wednesday afternoon will not produce any rainfall, looks like, as the air will just be too dry out ahead of it to squeeze anything out. As far as our current conditions go, it's 63, and the dew point is at 47. That number's come up a little bit. North winds are also subsiding somewhat. They're at 8 miles an hour. The pressure 30.28, and that continues to rise. The high today, 69 degrees, a couple degrees shy of the average. 55 in Tallahassee, 44 right now in Jacksonville. It's 70, though, still mild in Miami. And the satellite and radar review showing some snow falling now as the storm kind of gathers over Texas and Oklahoma, and a little bit of a clipper system moving through the Ohio Valley, bringing some snow earlier into places like Toledo and also Cincinnati. It's starting to lessen up somewhat there. And you can see that snow falling in western Pennsylvania and western New York tonight, too, as a result of that fast-moving system. But another one developing now over the southern plain states. This is the forecast model showing that blue that you see here and that again, white around there. That's the snow expected to fall as far south as near New Orleans and into central sections of Mississippi, as well as into Alabama, and then even in the panhandle of Florida. We have a rain-snow kind of mix there occurring on Wednesday morning early. Now, we're not going to get any of that here, but as I said, a dry cold front, we may see a little increase in cloudiness come Wednesday afternoon, and then the winds switch around and really turn cold for us here along the west coast of Florida. Well, here's the deep south snow down into Texas, Louisiana, and look at there, right there in Arkansas. You get up to 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. Lesser amounts as you push further to the south and east, but still there all the way up into the Ohio Valley, where a little bit more snow will fall. The winds will pick up considerably on into Wednesday afternoon. Once that front passes, you'll see that quite clearly. By 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning, they start to pick up and really increase throughout the afternoon. So small craft advisories will be back with us as early as Wednesday afternoon, and temperatures are really dropping. Currently at 6 in Kansas City, 3 in Minneapolis now, 14 in Chicago, and you factor in the wind, it's minus 13 in Kansas City, minus 23 in Minot. So it is really getting back to winter across most of the eastern third of the nation. For boaters, a windy start tomorrow. Northeast winds 15 knots, subsiding to 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Tides on your screen. Sun rise will be at 7:21. The forecast tonight mostly fair, not as cold and breezy. 48 for your low. And then tomorrow, look for a high of 70. 49 to start things off Wednesday morning. Then we'll warm to 60s, mid 60s. That front will come in. We'll see an increase in clouds late in the afternoon. And then the wind chill at 30 on Thursday morning. So it's going to be a very cold start. Wind chill advisories will be with us. But after that, not bad. Back in the 70s we go. Linda?
Coming up, we'll take you to Babcock Ranch, the nation's first 100% solar community.
First out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a full-time receptionist / accounts payable administrator. AP or general accounting experience preferred. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
Babcock Ranch is a brand new community being built from scratch. It's located about 10 miles east of the interstate in Charlotte County, basically in the middle of nowhere.
Interesting, but it will soon be a busy community with retail, restaurants, schools, and some 20,000 residents. And it also has something no other city in the country has. ABC7's Linda Carson has more on a place we call home.
Babcock Ranch is the first 100% solar community in the country. The first family just moved in. They learned about the ranch in technical journals.
And we flew down and we took the tour, went over to the solar field, looked at it, looked at all the few facilities at the time. This was close to a year ago.
And decided this was the place for them.
I like that old-fashioned look of the buildings, that 1920s old Florida look.
Babcock Ranch is the vision of CEO Sid Kitson.
Babcock Ranch is 91,000 acres. That's 143 square miles.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's 5 times the size of the island of Manhattan.
90% of Babcock Ranch will be preserved and undeveloped forever.
So we're only developing on undisturbed lands. We're not in the wetlands. We're not in flood zone.
and making history with their solar power.
Florida Power and Light, after many years of work, has built a 75 megawatt solar power generating facility. So what that means is on 440 acres, they put in 343,000 panels.
He says Babcock Ranch has the cleanest energy in the country. It's a multi-generational community. One school is already open and another being built.
From energy to education to the environment to transportation, to technology, and then health and wellness is a big part of what we're doing.
The new medical center is almost finished.
We'll have doctors here full time. They're going to have physical therapy, occupational therapy. There'll be gym, the indoor basketball court, and there is a pool.
And 50 miles of trails.
And I like how you can walk or ride your bike to everything. It's just wonderful. Nice flat land, and you don't have to get in your car. I think we've gotten away from those small communities where you can walk to grocers.
You can hear the general store just opened. When Babcock Ranch is completed, there will be 19,500 homes, and they'll range in price from $190,000 to $1 million. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Wow. Must be nice to not have a power bill as well.
Yeah, right.
That house had a front porch, and it's like we're going back in time a little bit there.
Right.
Like they said, they
like
you
it.
can walk or bike anywhere.
Right here in the Sunshine State, and that'll be known as the Sunshine City in the Sunshine State, I'll bet, because it looks like a really interesting concept, doesn't it?
I hope it works.
One day maybe they'll be able to harness lightning. That would be the real good thing here in Florida.
Can you
I'll
imagine?
work on that.
There we go.
Yeah.
World News Tonight with David Muir is next.
We'll see you again at 11. Have a good night.